Risk is part of doing business today, so it's a good idea to go over some security considerations you'll probably have as a network administrator. When you begin the risk assessment process, start by identifying your assets and placing a value on each one. Assets can include hosts on your network that are critical for your business to function or the cost of lost data, system replacement, or downtime. It can be difficult to assign value to things like information, but it's important to try. Next, you look at an event's likelihood and the impact that it could have. In the business world, an event is any plausible threat that an organization could encounter. We categorize them in the following ways: natural, like a major storm or hurricane; unintentional, like an untrained employee or vendor; or intentional, like a cyber attack or disgruntled employee. Impact is best quantified in some semi-tangible way, such as monetarily or by reputational damage. To assess threat level, it's best to look at each vulnerability and its overall exposure to determine an event's likelihood. Here's a couple of examples. First, let's say that your business is in a hurricane zone. Obviously, a hurricane would be a potential threat. Now, you could research to find out the likelihood that your area could be hit by a hurricane, and you could evaluate what the impact of damage would be on your assets. Using this information, you determine the risk level that your location presents and make decisions from there. Looking at a second example, let's say that your organization keeps customer information in one database and purchasing analytics in another. Through a vulnerability assessment, you discover misconfigurations in the security rules on each database's network security group. The customer information database contains personally identifying information, and the replacement cost is extremely high. The purchasing analytics database contains purchasing trend information that's valuable to your organization, but not to anyone outside of it. So the replacement cost is much lower. The likelihood of the customer information being the target of a cyber attack is much higher than the likelihood of the purchasing analytics being a target. In your assessment of either a database's security being breached, you prioritize your efforts around protecting the customer information over the purchasing analytics. Another security concept to understand is posture assessment. Cybersecurity posture is your network's overall state in terms of hardware, software, databases, transmissions, processes, and even vendors. To assess your posture, first look at the security measures you have in place around your assets and make sure that the tightest security is focused on your most critical ones. These measures can include anti-malware, firewalls, security rules, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, SIEMs, and SOARs. Next, you look at your vulnerabilities. Understanding what your vulnerabilities are and which are at greatest risk is an important step in posture assessment. Combining the knowledge of your vulnerabilities with the exposure level also helps you to determine your attack surface. Once you understand the attack surface, evaluate it against the security measures you have in place. The smaller the gaps between your attack surface and your security measures, the better your security posture is. You can improve your posture through continuous monitoring, security reviews, and risk management. Now that we've discussed assessing security risk through threat and posture assessment, let's look at 4 general risk management categories. The first is risk avoidance, or what we call threat elimination. Obviously, the safest way to protect your organization is to completely avoid risk, but that isn't always possible. Some things can be avoided and some can't. For example, one way to avoid risk is to get rid of devices and hardware that are no longer needed. You can sanitize them and have them completely destroyed by third parties that shred or smash equipment for this very purpose. Destroyed hardware would pose essentially no risk to your company. It's also possible to take steps to sanitize your devices to reuse or sell later. You do this by implementing factory resets or configuration wipes. If you want to make sure that all data is deleted, use disk cleanup software like Secure Erase, which uses a set of commands to overwrite all data on a hard drive. Overwriting works by writing new binary code in the place of the existing data. You can use disk wiping to delete information from flash drives, secure digital cards, and hard drives. You can also clear any IoT device on your network by erasing old data, performing a factory reset, unsyncing from other devices, or removing memory cards. When risk elimination isn't possible, risk reduction is the second best option. This is also known as risk mitigation. For example, you could configure redundancy for your most critical systems in the event that the original system were to go down. Then the redundant system could take over and continue providing services. Another example would be requiring employees to create new passwords every 30 days to reduce the risk of an attacker obtaining system access. Another concept is risk transfer, which is done through outsourcing or insuring against the risk. For example, in the scenario of the hurricane zone, one risk transfer strategy would be to add insurance to protect against loss. Or you could outsource your financial transactions to a third-party vendor that has high security controls in place, specifically for financial transactions. A final option in risk management is risk retention, which simply means that after evaluating the potential threats and costs, you decide to accept the risk. To manage the accepted risks, budget for the possible losses and be prepared to handle any damage. That's it for this lesson. In this lesson, we discussed how to evaluate your security risk through threat and posture assessment. Then we talked about the 4 risk management options: avoidance, reduction, transfer, and retention. The only way to avoid all risks in business is to not have a business in the first place. So, if your organization has chosen to be in business, these concepts can help you at least mitigate harm if and when it comes.